know it's been such a short time, but how has the transition been for you coming from Minnesota to here?
Honestly, I would say it's been seamless. Just having everyone in this entire organization welcome me with open arms. It's been smooth, just getting to things and trying to figure out the next steps. And just, I think the fact that nothing feels forced, nothing feels rushed. So I think that transition just makes life a lot easier as well, just for me, for my family, being able to come into Atlanta, the city, and figure out game plans for how we're gonna approach, finding a house, working out, meeting everybody. I think everything has been well thought out and well planned, and it's really easy.
To that point, once you mentioned, you were kind of a free agent target pretty early on for the team because you mentioned the process being something that's a year-long process. For them to identify you as somebody that they saw as a fit, what does that say about, how they view you and what you can provide this roster?
It feels good
Yeah.
because when I look back in the season, I was like, man, I never really played great against Atlanta, So you always wonder, like, what teams have that perception of you and what they're really thinking of you. But obviously it's an 82-game season, so, that means they watch more than just those 2 games. And it feels great, honestly, especially having the fit that I have. And what also is more comforting is the stint that I played for Quinn. I guess it didn't really keep a lingering perception of who I was then. Not that I was a bad player, but just the fact that I've been able to grow and that around the league people have been able to see that. You get so, I would say, closed off and narrowed in on just what you're doing and the team you're on, and for me at least, just what's going on. And you kind of almost forget about the business side, and sometimes each night is an audition for other teams. And I think this year being a free agent unrestricted free agent for the first time really showed me that.
You mentioned playing against the Hawks. Just wondering, what was your view of the Hawks, like, and just the team in general before you came here?
Just knowing the team is aggressive to score offensively and teams that are going to play fast, and honestly with a pace and body movement, player movement, the ball moves as well. For me, it's like a focus to like really have to guard. In respects to Trey and the type of player he is, knowing that at any given moment he will shoot the ball, and like for me and my size, trying to get up into him, make sure that he's not as effective and out of rhythm is a lot tougher. Just his handle, his ability to shoot, and the fact that he's a willing passer, I think. So I think I've always felt like they were a good team. It was just tough to guard in a sense, but offensively felt like there's openings for me to be aggressive and to help the team I was playing with at the time.
You mentioned Trey. What have your conversations been like with Trey so far?
So far, it's been smooth. He was the first person to ever reach out to me, and I appreciated that. Just being in my position, having the franchise player reach out to you and express to you the value that he can see meant a lot. But it also just as a human, really chill guy, and I respect him a lot, especially because it takes a certain level of humility to do that. And some guys have pride and like they see it as like, oh, it's a privilege to play with me type thing. And I think that he really showed that he's a team guy.
You're a part of an organization that made a bunch of different off-season moves, obviously including yourself. How exciting is it to be a part of a group like this right now?
Honestly, it's very exciting. It's very, very exciting. And sometimes as I'm going through this process, now it's starting to really set in. And it's starting to feel more and more real. But all in all, it makes me more and more engaged. And which is a even better thing, I would say, for myself. Just being able to process what it is that they're trying to do as well as myself. And for me, going into this entire process, I want to be able to still have that impact to win and compete. And I feel like here's a great opportunity. We've talked about it last season. Felt like didn't really truly depict the team that the Hawks were. Injuries and so forth. I think I want to say maybe going into All-Star or before that, they were doing really, really well. And those injuries kind of hurt them. But I felt like that was a team that had a lot of potential, especially with the staff, the players, Jalen, Trey, Dre before he got traded. From when he was with us in training camp, or with Minnesota in training camp, he impressed me as well. So I definitely feel like this team has just a lot of versatility in adding KP and adding Luke, and I'm just happy that so far everyone I've met has been good people as well.
When you talk about defense, specifically perimeter defense, obviously the Hawks have one of the premier perimeter defenders in Dyson. Have you been able to speak to him yet? And what do you think it's like to be able to pair with a guy like him, and you coming here and you all having the pairing of being able to lock down defensively, especially on the perimeter?
And funny enough, I actually ran into Dyson in LA before I talked to any teams or anything, and I was just getting food in line, and he came up to me, and I was surprised. I was on my phone texting, and to me it was like that was really cool of him, because we haven't really gotten the chance to ever really speak like that. So for him to just come up to me, say what's up, just show the type of person that he is, off the court for one, and then on the court, really have a lot of respect for the way he's been able to kind of, and for me coming from New Orleans and go through a little bit of struggle and then turn it around and then find it defensively is inspiring in a sense, because I feel like we walk the same path, so to speak, and I definitely have that understanding of him as a player, and I'm excited, honestly. I love defending now, and I know that he's somebody that I can learn from, especially with how he's able to read passing lanes. It seems like he's everywhere. Just that period where he's having 7 steals, 5 steals, video game numbers defensively, and that's something that I can really add to my game. And I feel like having two pieces like that, and I texted him when he welcomed me, just excited to get on the court and to defend and to cause havoc. That's like a tandem.
I was going to ask about Dyson and just the trajectory he had last season, coming in, being known for his defense, but then kind of fitting into the system that Quinn has sort of built. How do you see Quinn's system maybe helping you unlock some of your offensive tools?
I think the fact that he wants everyone to be aggressive, and it's organized chaos and it's freedom, but at the same time, everyone's playing with each other. You look at teams that have been successful, especially last season with the Pacers and the Thunder. Those are teams that everybody's live, everybody's aggressive. I think Quinn is a basketball mind, and you see his gears turn when he thinks the game, when he talks about the game, the passion that he has towards it, which is exciting for me because I want to get better. I want to improve, and offensively and defensively. And I feel like he has set that runway for me to really try to take off and to grow as a player. He's openly said, I'm going to challenge you to do things that you didn't do, and you're going to have to get comfortable with that. And I feel like just small things like that is what's going to allow me to really grow, because I'm stepping outside of that comfort zone.
Does it feel like you have a head start because you have that previous relationship, you understand the terminology and that sort of thing, so you can make an impact maybe faster with this team?
Terminology speaking, yes. It's very much different from any other NBA team. And I feel like everyone kind of knows that. And so terminology-wise, I definitely do. Yeah, I think from what I've seen, it's not much different. It's just getting more accustomed and reacclimated with the groove of it, the concepts, thinking about it, trying to breathe it, live it, so then it just becomes natural.
Minnesota fans really embraced you and just appreciated your effort. What was it like for you to join that fan base and join that team and have that fan base kind of support you that way they did?
It felt great, and honestly felt like that move to Minnesota really changed the trajectory of my entire life and my career. I feel really, really, really grateful to have been there, for the organization and the fans to really just embrace me like that, the way they did. Prior to that, and being able to play like 82 games in 2 seasons in a row, for me it was a lot of DMPs. And so just to have that opportunity to go out there and play every night, and for me it was just about like giving the game all I had, and like they seen that, they appreciated me for that, and I appreciate them for backing me.
What sort of lent that durability to your game and your ability to be available? Like, what did you do to sort of prepare yourself for that?
I think the approach I just took to like taking care of my body, and more so just for me started with how can I improve, and it didn't really start off as like I want to play 82 games. That was never a goal for me. I think that was just more like well, you have to, in a sense, because for me, I just didn't really play like that. So anytime I could get a chance to go out there and play, I was going to take that opportunity, and knowing like what it feels like to want to be out there and just not. So for me, taking care of my body, lifting, different things that my trainer Nem has come up with, just feet exercises, ankle exercises, small things like that. So I have a good solid foundation to protect my body.
What do you appreciate about Onsi's vision for this franchise?
Honestly, the optimism and the belief and the faith. Outside of a vision, and for myself being Christian, you understand that like nothing really moves without faith. And just the fact that he can believe in everybody and give us all the space. If you look around, like just the environment here and the renovations being done, they're really pouring into making this place a space for work where everyone's going to get better, where everyone's going to grow, where this team and the players that we're putting together can assemble and really form like what he sees in a playoff contending, title contending.
Both you and Kristaps have that experience of playing in the playoffs. I mean, how do you hope you can kind of pour into the younger guys who may not necessarily have that experience yet?
Honestly, it's kind of surreal because I never thought I'd be like that vet guy with all this playoff experience, especially with just kind of how things started. But honestly, it's just one thing I've learned is just trying to be a great teammate. How can I like dive in and being close with everybody, and the camaraderie is very important. It's what holds you up that long into the season. It's training your body, being tired, mentally tired, and all the schemes and coming back, and like the emotions that can also come with a playoff series. Being able to handle that, I think like it's made me more mature, but also just being able to lead by example and just how hard I play and the things that I see, and always trying to talk and communicate without being annoying as best as possible is really important. And honestly, these guys are great players, and last season they had a good chance to do what they really wanted to do. Is just injuries, so not overstepping either, just kind of throwing in my 2 cents wherever I see fit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.